Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Massachusetts 4th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, before I speak with Mr. Novak, I do feel compelled to respond to a previous comment from the gentleman from Alabama who, as an aside, said that, our side doesn't care if China wins. The kind of underhanded, inappropriate comment that I just don't think belongs on this committee. I was a member of the Select Committee on China for 2 years last Congress and worked in good faith with Republicans on a long-term strategy to outcompete the Chinese Communist Party. But since the gentleman from Alabama wanted to raise the subject, let's talk about how this administration is doing on China. Let's raise it. So first, after Congress passed bipartisan legislation to force the divestment of TikTok, this president illegally refused to force the divestment of TikTok and indeed opened up a White House account on a platform that Xi Jinping has described as his biggest weapon in the, quote, smokeless battlefield of ideological warfare. This president has gutted funding for Radio Free Asia so that in Indonesia, where there used to be 1 hour of American programming and 1 hour of CCP programming, now there's just 2 hours of CCP programming. This president invited to the White House, can't make this up, his meme coin investors, some of whom with explicit ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Those are the people, by the way, who actually attended the dinner and were willing to be seen publicly. What about all of the Trump coin investors who want to keep their influence secret until a time and place of their choosing where they can buy the president's China policy? This president has dismantled a huge part of our Indo-Pacific maritime strategy by attacking the Australians and our ability to work with them to build nuclear submarines to project force in the Indo-Pacific. He's also attacked the Philippines, he's attacked our Southeast Asian allies, and perhaps most devastatingly, he has attacked our Japanese and South Korean allies. A major success of the Biden administration was forging closer ties between Japan and South Korea as a counterweight to the belligerence of the Chinese Communist Party. In the Indo-Pacific, this president has undermined our bilateral alliances with both of those powerful economies and militaries. This president has thrown doubt on his willingness to support Taiwan economically, militarily, ideologically, as it contests and fights for freedom against the Chinese Communist Party. This president has literally had American troops on their knees roll out a red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska just a week before he then launched missile strikes against US sites in Ukraine, and then went to go watch a military parade with Xi Jinping, signaling weakness against this alliance of autocrats who seek to undermine US strength in the Pacific. This president has cut medical science and biotech funding at a time when the Chinese Communist Party is vaulting over us to become the world leader in biotechnology alongside, I should say, quantum science and other initiatives. So I do not want to hear from this side of the aisle that we want China to win, while this administration and this president is the weakest president in modern American history in standing up for American national security. The final thing that has been a failure of this administration regarding China has been nuclear power. And here I want to turn to you, Mr. Novak, in the last 90 seconds. It was the proposal of this administration to gut the Loan Programs Office, which is vital for the construction of nuclear power, including small modular reactors that the gentleman from Alabama talked about. In April, I asked Dr. Mike Goff about whether the staffing levels of the LPO, which was facing a 60% reduction in its workforce, were sufficient to actually finance and help develop nuclear power, which I agree we should be doing. He promised an answer. I have not gotten it. Mr. Novak, can you respond to how the LPO is suited administratively to actually deliver its function?
I'm confident that it is resourced. I've had the occasion to work with Greg Beard, who heads up our Loan Programs Office. We've got a very good team of lawyers that I've gotten to know that brings a tremendous amount of commercial sophistication to support the LPO mission. I believe that the LPO funding actually increased year over year. So I would tell you, as I sit here, I'm confident in the LPO mission.
Can we get, though, a written response about the staffing levels at the LPO and how that maps on to their mandate?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to get you that.
Okay, I'll yield back.